until you realize, till you do the inner work and realize, I have my own thought process. I don't have to think this way. I am good enough. Once you do the inner work, you realize you're great. I am so good enough. Give it to me. I deserve it. Whatever the not enoughs are, I am enough. That's all. I am enough. And she is more than enough.
Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the quantum coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome.
To our training today. Super excited. Let's introduce ourselves. Mom. This is my mom.
Hi. My name is Sheri Frankel. I have a Facebook group called Wiser Still Boujie. I'm a life coach, and I'm Ashley's mom.
Yeah, and we're so excited to jam out. And if you don't know me, if it's our first time meeting, my name is Ashley Gordon. I'm the founder of the Quantum Coaching Academy, motivational speaker, and coach on a mission to help other coaches be world-class at what they do. And today specifically talking about mother-daughter healing and wounds, and diving into this really important topic because we all have mothers or had mothers at one point, and some are biological, some are not, and there's such a beautiful dynamic, in mother-daughter relationships, and something that we're really passionate about talking about because we've come so far in our relationship and we're still learning and growing and very far from perfect, but also like perfectly imperfect in our love and our connection. And I think what we share is really, really beautiful. And I'm excited to share that with you guys and to help you guys dive deeper into this connection with your mom.
Hi, Diane.
Hi, Diane, whether your mom's here or not, right? So the tools that we're going to give you today are going to be for you, if your mom is, the dog is going to bark, if your mom is here or not. And so we want to kind of start with this topic of healing. What is healing? What actually is it? I used to think like, oh, okay, well, I don't have a cut, so I'm not, I'm not broken, or I'm not sick, so I don't need healing. What does that mean? What does that mean to you, healing?
Healing is when you can get rid of the emotions that are causing you stress, strife, and worry over relationships, especially mother-daughter relationships, because we're in each other's life forever. And carrying that weight around is pretty heavy, unless you can heal it. Mm-hmm. And we're going to give you some pointers on how to heal that mother-daughter relationship.
And beautifully said. Yeah, I think that's really good. And healing is not necessarily like a linear process. It can happen. It can, what we're healing and what we've been healing is healing past generations, right? Because I'm going to speak from my perspective with my mom. She's going to speak about her perspective with her mom, and then her perspective with me. So there's like a lot going on. And my relationship with my mom is very different than her relationship with her mom. So we'll get into all of that and more. And I would love to know, Jenna said, Sheri, that's my adopted mom right there. So true.
Love you, Jenna.
So, hi, Daniela. So curious to know what you guys think the definition of healing is. Like, what does that mean to you? And also, what is your ideal relationship with your mom? what does that look like, right? Whether or not she's here or like still on this planet or not, like what does that feeling feel like to have this just peaceful, loving relationship with your parent?
And on the other same side, if you're a parent in our group, what's your ideal relationship with your daughter? Are you a friend, or are you a mom, or are you both? What is your relationship?
Yeah, that's a great point too. Because so many of you are moms raising daughters and sons and all of it. And so I think it's really important to identify like what does your ideal relationship look like with this person in your life? And yeah, that's the question. And I think like we can talk about that a little bit too, of like what our ideal relationship looks like. Like I always have said, like I just want my mom to understand me and love me unconditionally, and for me to love her unconditionally too. And what do I have to do to receive that? And so, of course, God puts situations in your path where you get to experience the opposite of what you truly want so that you can heal that and get to what you actually want to create with your parent.
Get past it.
Yeah. And I also want to say, like, I know that this is a really sensitive subject to some people, and we're sensitive to that too. And so this is a safe conversation. Anything that you guys want to share, any questions that you have, we're totally open to it. So what's your ideal relationship with me and with your mom, who's no longer here?
I always wanted like a mom that wore a dress and wore an apron and baked cookies, had dinner on the table, prepared lunch, had a smile. She always was put together. She was always there for me whenever I needed her, had great advice, and stood by me 110%. And she was the main person of the family to keep peace, to keep love going and joy. That was my ideal. However, my mom came from a family that showed little or no emotion at times. And so my mom was never the cuddly, put together type. She was come as you are, whether it was right out of bed or coming from work. I mean, she was rough a little bit. If I had problems with a friend, for instance, one day I came home very upset. I had a problem with a girlfriend and I wanted to tell my mom all about it. I walked in and she could tell by my face something was wrong. She didn't ask me, "Are you okay? How are you?" She said, "What did you do now?" I was devastated. I ran to my room and cried. So that was not my kind of ideal mom. But she was my mom. She had her moments. She wasn't affectionate. I'm very affectionate.
So it's like because she wasn't all those things, it made you the way that you are with me.
I guess. I gave you what I didn't have but wanted.
Yeah. And like, thank you guys for your comments. Hi, Dawn Gadden. Oh my gosh. Love you, girl. Hi, Morel. Morel said that she loves her mom big time, but her mom never showed her a lot of emotion and never cuddling or anything. However, she's the first one to lend me money, signing up for my courses, my classes, sharing with friends. Yeah. So she's showing you. Right? My mom was always super loving, super affectionate, super involved. And also she was sick my whole life. And so she had Crohn's disease, and that led to pain pill addiction. And so for a lot of significant events, she was there, but she wasn't fully there because she was also on pain medicine. So a lot of that led to me feeling just embarrassed and like sad and like, why am I not good enough for her to just be normal and sober for these like milestones and things of that nature would pop up for me, and kind of take that through my life, and realize that her being in that state, it didn't make me not good enough. But those are the things that happen when we're younger, where we start to develop these deep core wounds that are triggered by the people that we love and that love us the most, or that don't even know that they're doing it. And then there's, some people that have parents who, weren't affectionate, didn't tell them that at all. Like there's so many different lenses of the spectrum, and I'm just speaking from my experience at this point. And so some of those wounds I've had to take with me, and have been some of the most profound healing experiences of my life. And I remember like feeling at one point before you went to rehab, just hopeless of, I don't know how. I always wanted to help her. I always wanted to make sure that she was okay and could get better and all this stuff. And I remember taking her on a trip to Disney World, and it was just not a good trip. And it was a time where she was heavily doing pain medicine, and it just made me feel like, oh my God, we're in Disney World and we can't even like have a vacation together. And when I left that trip, I remember feeling like, okay, I have to just love her unconditionally. And if this is her path and this is what she's choosing, I have to accept it. And when we accept things, that's when the miracles happen. What would you say to that?
I remember a time when Ashley came to me and she said, you know what, Mom? If any of my friends experience this with their parents, they would just say, I'm out. I'm just cutting you off from me altogether. But she didn't do that for me. She loved me through it. She took away any single problem or fear to help me get into rehab. And it was the beginning of our really deep healing experiences. And I'm so grateful to her. I could never.
I'm so grateful for you. I'm so proud of you. And it's like when we accept, the acceptance is really what created the miracle. It's like I finally, after years of trying to fix her, after years of trying to help her, after years of trying to tell her, it doesn't have to be this way. You can think differently. You can feel differently. You can experience a different reality. I got to a point where I was pushed so far to my edge that I just threw up the white flag and I surrendered. And in that surrender came rehab. And she went to a rehab, and it worked out so perfectly. I think we did a podcast on that, so we're not going to really get into much of that. But the point is that our parents, whether they know it or not, because things come up every day where I'm like, oh yeah, when you did that, that really like messed me up when I was younger. And I'm not blaming her. And sometimes you still feel like I'm blaming you, I can tell. But it's my experience.
True.
And
I have to respect that and accept it and move past it instead of getting upset.
Right.
I don't remember it that way. Well, how would I? I didn't remember a lot of things.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that we didn't have was a very good communication style, because communication in our relationship was very reactive. And raise your hand if you can relate to reacting to your parents of like,
we were defensive.
Yeah. If I would communicate to her like, oh, I think that like we can't go here tonight because you're not right now. You're not in a good state of mind. What are you talking about?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. And she would just completely deny it. And that was extremely frustrating because I thought it made me feel like I was crazy. And so that was a cycle for a very long time where I felt like I couldn't actually have a conversation with her or hang out with her because it would just end up in some defensive fight. And honestly, like her denial to her addiction was the only issue that we really ever had in our relationship.
I was like, I don't go buy drugs off the street. Doctors prescribe them for me. I thought I had no problem until I had a problem.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this communication thing for a minute. And also like this wound that we're kind of starting to identify, like what is your core wound? Are you aware of what it is with your mom? Are you aware of what it is with your daughter if you have one? Like, are you aware of what that wound is? Are you aware of what yours was? Because I feel like during QCA, you kind of discovered it.
Oh, definitely. I discovered that my perception was so off, and things that I thought my whole life, even before I had Ashley, demeaned me. I was not good enough. I was not pretty enough. I was not thin enough. If somebody said something, I was very defensive and took it internally entirely into the wrong perception. So I was difficult. I was most difficult. But
what was the core wound that you discovered?
The core wound was perception.
That's not a wound.
Well, my core wound was not being good enough.
Yeah.
Not being seen, not being heard. I thought nothing I said or did was worthy. And I just told myself these limiting beliefs for years and years.
And my mom actually created illness out of not feeling loved. So like she never, I'm just going to speak real. No, you can tell your story.
I don't want to go into it, really.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that's what we're talking about.
No. Go ahead.
It's basically like we create these wounds of not feeling loved, not feeling good enough. Like she was saying, based on her perception, right? So she realized that her perception was so off that it wasn't actually so, that she was actually loved. She was actually cared for and supported. But the story that she told herself from things that had happened with her mom made her feel otherwise.
Very insecure.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, cool. So this is not to blame our parents, right? This is not to blame our parents at all. This is just for our own awareness to realize what we believe about ourselves from the things that have happened to us. And often people do blame their parents. People are like, because of them, I'm fucked up, right? Because of them, I'm messed up. Because of them, this happened to my life. My life.
It's not true. It's not true.
It might feel true though.
Oh yeah. Until you do the inner work and realize I have my own thought process. I don't have to think this way. I am good enough. Once you do the inner work, you realize you're great. I am so good enough. Give it to me. I deserve it. I am pretty enough. I am whatever. So I am enough. That's all. I am enough. And she is more than enough. So
Muriel said, when I was young, I thought my mom didn't care as much as my other moms because she was never part of the group of moms, but it was because she was working, same as my dad, to pay private school for me and my sister.
Hey, we do what we can to give you the best.
Yeah. Both, it's like interesting how the perspective shifts when you're older and you can see things differently. And then I'm sure it shifts again when you become a mom and then you see things even more differently. Clearer sometimes, I suppose. So diving into we want to talk about 3 things that you can do to open up communication between your mom and or your daughter.
First, have clearing conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, Ashley and I can sit down and say, okay, what is the elephant in the room? And let's talk about it and get it out. And we do, and it's out and it's over.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hang on to anything anymore. I was a big hanger on her. She wasn't so bad as me, but I was a big hanger on her. So those clearing conversations, be truthful, be honest. It's your mom. It's your daughter. If you can't talk open and honestly to them, who can you talk to?
Yeah. I think the clearing conversations are really important, especially when things are good, right? Like not in the heat of the moment.
Never.
But more so, separately from the moment, to be able to be like, hey, this is how I've been feeling. Just want to share it with you. And taking responsibility for those feelings that you have and not blaming the other person.
Big.
Just being able to say what you feel. And even if there's nothing wrong or nothing going on right now with your mother or your daughter, but there's, filters that you're seeing things through or Mom, actually, my whole life, I've never felt good enough. and I'm realizing that it's stemming from my childhood, and just talk about it. Like, are you open to having a conversation with me so I can kind of dig in and heal this within myself? You're taking that responsibility and saying, I want to heal this within me, and not blaming her for being like, you did this to me. You messed me up, right? That's not what we're saying.
You're actually asking for another opinion on what you've been thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Am I crazy, or is this is what I'm thinking? Is it true? Help me.
Yeah. Even just the other day, my mom's staying with me for the summer, and it's like a lot having your mom stay with you, and also it's a blessing and it's sacred and all of it. It's everything. And we just weren't really in a groove yet. And it was just, the tension was building and building and building. And then we just talked about it. We were like, hey, we feel tension. What's up? What are you feeling? What am I feeling? And we just said what we were feeling.
Kissed
and made up.
And said, okay, thank you. Thank you for telling me this.
Yeah. So having a simple, clearing conversation can be actually life-changing. So try that on. I'm curious, has anyone ever done that? Has anyone ever just had a simple conversation? Because it can heal a lot within yourself.
Not only with your mom and daughter, in the outside world. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And then the other thing that really helps is a tool called Acknowledging and Validating. It's actually a coaching tool that we teach inside QCA. I was in my coach training right before my mom went to rehab. So the day that you went to rehab was like the third module of my coach training when I was graduating. And this is a tool that I learned at the first module. So it was like a 8 to 9 month difference. And so I started using this tool, Acknowledging and Validating, because my mom would call me with different things to share with me, freaking out about this, freaking out about that, or someone said this, or someone said that, and going on and on. And I'm not the type of person that would just agree with her if I don't think it's like the right thing. So I'm all about mindset. And so I always was trying to help fix. I was really just fixing what I thought she should see differently. Like, Mom, who cares about what your sister said about this or that? Like, just get over that. Like, it's not important. Like, no, I'm not going to agree with you. Because your whole thing was like, she's treating me like this. Am I crazy? She wanted that validation. And instead of like bumping up against what she would say, even if I didn't agree with it, you don't have to agree with everything your mother says. Newsflash. Or your daughter. You don't have to agree with anything that they say or everything that they say. But what you can do is acknowledge and validate their experience. So I started to learn this tool, and I was like, okay, I'm going to practice this. So I just started to acknowledge, like, it's, it sounds like you're really mad right now, Mom. Yeah, I am mad. She just wants to be heard in her madness.
That's all.
That's all. We just want to be heard. We just want to be seen.
She gave me the space to say what I had to say, not judge me, and when she disagreed with me, clearly let me know, but in a very gentle way,
So acknowledging and validating can look a lot like this. Okay. Here, I'll give you a scenario, and I want you to acknowledge and validate me. Okay. This is so crazy right now because some random person just told me that I don't know what to say right now. What should I say?
Told you that.
We can plan this little demo out. Here, how about I'll just say, can you believe that she said that to me and treated me that way? Like, it's just not fair. Am I the crazy one?
Listen, I totally understand how you feel, but maybe think about, replay what went on and think about it. Replay it, take your time, think about it, and let me know how you feel. I'm behind you 100%. And I understand you're upset about it, but just make sure you're seeing exactly what you're telling me.
Good job. High five. So it's really just, simply put, it's really just being able to say to them, like, listen, I hear you. And it's understandable what you're feeling. Like, your feelings are valid.
Right.
Like, that's what you're saying.
That's the most important thing.
What you feel right now is totally valid and totally understandable based on what you just said.
Now I want you to think about it. Make sure what you're saying was exactly how it was played out.
Which is something a little bit different than acknowledging and validating. But acknowledging and validating is really just like, I hear you, I understand you, your emotions are valid, and you're not trying to change their emotions.
Right.
That's it. Like, they don't want to feel other than the way that they feel right now. So just allow them to feel it.
Hold that space.
That's what it is, holding the space. It's so powerful. Maria said, my mom and I have so much built up tension. She's always so negative, especially with who I date. She never gave my boyfriend a chance and shut him out almost 10 years ago. She always thinks I have an attitude when I talk to her, and at this point, I just try not to talk to her. We just know how to push each other's buttons. Yeah.
Totally understand how you feel, Maria. You need to have that clearing conversation.
Well, she doesn't need to.
No, but
if she wants to, she can have it, right? So it's just like, Maria, what do you want to create with your mom?
Right.
What do you want to cultivate in this relationship? Do you want to keep going this way? Or are you open to creating a portal of new possibility in your relationship with her? And have you ever sat down with her and just simply said, like, this is how I'm feeling, and I would love to,
understand
what you're feeling. Yeah. And like, even just saying, like, what do you want to create in a relationship with me? And how do we want to experience each other? Because the way that we've been doing it, I don't know about you, but it's not working for me. And just saying that, I think, could open up so much if you're open to that. What do you think?
I think you're 100% right. I think you need to give your mom a chance to explain her side, be open, honest, not argumentative, and not push any buttons. Neutral, and listen to her. I know we do things as mothers, and we say things that are taken out of context the wrong way. I always tell Ashley, who loves you more than me? And anything I say to you is only, well, again, my perception, but when I say it to her, it's out of love. I never want to hurt her. But when she was younger, like if I said, oh, your skin's breaking out, oh my God, she would freak out on me. Instead,
I mean, I always felt like you were overly critical of me, which is why I would freak out. Like, my reaction would be that way because you're always pointing things out, which is still something that we're working through, because when she comes over, it's about like the way that I run my kitchen and the way that I run my house. So we're still working those things out too. And just because we're having this conversation does not mean that we have a perfect relationship, right? I just want to preface that again. But we're always a work in progress, and we're willing to put in the work.
And we do communicate.
Yeah,
we do.
So Maria said she would love to be on better terms with her. We never had a talk, but when we do, it always ends up in an argument. So that's another thing. Thank you for bringing that up. So assumption, and I want to get to Katie and Paige's thing. Assumption can be really powerful in life in general, right? We assume because someone was that way, they're always going to be that way. Because our past relationship was shitty, we're only going to have a shitty relationship next. Because our conversations always end in an argument, the future conversations are always going to be ending in an argument. This is active manifestation, right? So you're manifesting and assuming how it's going to be already from the past, from what didn't work before. Does that make sense?
Totally.
So Maria,
Beautiful.
I want to empower you to like drop that about it always ends up in an argument, because that's what you're creating, right? So what do you want to create? You want to create a clearing. So our conversations always end up in a clearing, starting to add in what you do want out of it versus what you don't want, right? And allow the space for the clearing to happen, because when we think that we say it's always going to be the way that it's going to be, we're actually closing off the possibility.
Right. Absolutely. Good luck, Maria. Your mom's worth your perseverance, and try.
Okay. Katie Shea. In Sedona, you said to me, I had to let my mom be my mom again. That's probably one of the most impactful things anyone has ever said to me. I feel it relates this. I always try to raise my mom into having better, healthier beliefs. Yep. I feel you on that. I go into fix it mode instead of just letting her be my mom and even her own person. This was literally me. I couldn't have said it better than you. I love what you said. That's so true. That's so, so true. When we have moms with trauma or illness, it's so easy to step into that mom role and forget that they're actually the mom. That was me forever. We still joke. She's like, I'm like, you're my daughter. But really, like, I think maybe in another life we were swapped.
But well, Ashley went to a reader, an astrologist, and she told her,
we've been in many lifetimes.
We've been together, always related in multiple lifetimes. I was the daughter, she was the mother. We were always related.
And we were really excited about that.
Yeah, we were happy to be together.
So yeah, I think that's a beautiful, beautiful point, Katie. It's like, if you could stop being in fix-it mode and adopting and having them adopt their own beliefs and just accept their beliefs. Their beliefs are not always going to be your beliefs because
you're different people.
We're just different. We're different. And just because you have a different mindset than your mom doesn't mean that you can't have a good relationship. I think that's key. Paige said she hasn't seen legit haven't seen my mom in 4 years. She said the interaction between you two and Sedona was so beautiful to witness. Then when Ashley, you expressed the comment she had made bothered you, I was like, damn, I wish my mom could hear me like that without the massive defensiveness. Right. So in Sedona, thank you for saying that. In Sedona, my mom said something and I was just like, that really bothered me when you just said that. And I just said it. I forget what it was.
And I said, thank you for telling me.
Yeah.
I humbly apologize and I'll move on. And so her friends were at the same table, beautiful women. And some of them commented right there, like, wow. And we just thought, this is just the way we are. I mean.
Well, it's taken us a long time to get there.
Yes.
There used to be a ton of defensiveness.
Yeah.
If I'm like, if I was like, oh, that really bothered me,
right.
It could have gone a different way.
I would have taken it defensively and been upset. And
then I would have been upset.
Right.
And then there would have been tension.
But I acknowledged it and I validated it because she was right. And we moved on. Yeah. Thank you, Paige. Love you.
You guys are writing such good things. Okay. So Daniela said, my mom shuts down when she has an issue with me and just holds it on in all of her feelings. Yeah. And, that's something that could be acknowledged. It's like, I see that when we have issues together that you're just holding in all of your feelings. I would love to communicate with you. I'd love to open up a conversation with you. Are you ever open to doing that? To be able to kind of open the space. I don't know if you ever tried that or asked her that. Diane Miller said, I hear you, Danielle and Maria. My mom has so many wounds that she hides without knowing everything. So communication is challenging. She just gets so angry and walks away, hangs up, etc. Well, we used to do that.
Same thing. Don't think your mom's the only one. She has time to change. Believe
that
me.
Was so triggering.
Yeah. I didn't want to hear it.
She was a runner, like just straight up runner. And not just with me, in all relationships.
In life.
Yeah.
I would just put it under the carpet. I would not acknowledge it, hang up, walk away. I left places you wouldn't believe because I felt defensive. But give her a chance. Give her a chance. Give her some time. Give her some of your tools. Come on. You got them all, girl.
Yeah, for sure. And she does. And it's like, it's about the desire too. Like if there's a desire to have a better, healthier, more open relationship, you'll create it. It's just getting real with yourself on what you truly desire to have, not your ideal relationship, but like realistic desire. Like, what do you want right now? What could be the best case scenario right now? And that might be not to have your mom in your life, or it might be to have your mom in your life, right? Everyone's different. When we posted this workshop, somebody reached out to me privately and said, I'm putting a restraining order against my mom. She's abusing me. And, I'm so sensitive to that. Like, I understand that this isn't for everybody. Not everybody wants to mend their relationship with their mom. Not everybody wants resolve with that relationship, So
And some people feel they'll never have it. They can't.
Right.
That's their limited belief.
Yeah. So acknowledging and validating was number 2. 3 is listen with your heart. Everyone just wants to be heard and valued. Like, literally, if you could just understand that every single person on planet Earth, your mom included, your daughter included, they just want to be heard and feel valued and feel validated. They want to be seen and heard. So knowing that everybody just wants to be seen and heard, literally everyone, for who they are, they want to be seen and heard for the mess that they are, the wounds that they have, whatever it is. Can't that, like, for me, knowing that, it just makes me feel more compassionate towards people in general, because I know that literally everyone's walking around, even the people that you think don't need that validation or seem super confident,
Have it all together.
They also want to be seen and heard.
Of course. It's just nature's way. It's just nature's way.
It's nature's way.
It's nature's way.
Sounds like a granola bar. So that's that. We have a lot of comments, so let's just look at them. Thank you guys so much for sharing.
Hi,
Rochelle,
Rochelle.
love you.
Beautiful lady.
Holly said, my mom was always the hardest on me, but out of her 5 kids, and for a long time I built up an anger towards her for it. And unfortunately, I didn't realize until after she was passing away why she was that way. Her passing was a blessing in disguise because I learned more about myself and who I am than I ever did. Wow. That's
Beautiful.
So beautifully said. And yeah, I remember like you going through that, and not many people can say that. So that's a huge healing in itself, that you can look at your mom's passing and say that. And thank you for saying that, because that's also a point I wanted to make, is that these 3 tips to open up communication, it's also, these 3 tips you can also use if your mom has passed on. By number 1, having a clearing conversation. Instead of having it with her, having it with yourself, having that clearing conversation with yourself, and really being able to share your feelings with yourself, right? Really be able to be honest with yourself. Like, this is how my relationship with my mom made me feel. This is what got present. This is what I'm present to. This is what wounds I have. This is what I'm experiencing. And just making the space to have that conversation with yourself. And then acknowledge and validate those feelings within yourself. And even though your mom's not there to acknowledge and validate those feelings, you doing that for yourself in turn is almost like a reparenting for what you've experienced and have gone through.
It heals your inner child. It really does.
Because at the end of the day, all of this is inner child work, right? Everything that we went through when we were younger, our inner child is very much alive inside of us.
Makes us who we are, gives us the opinions we have, gives us the nature that we have, and everything that we are today is from those lessons.
Yep. And the 3rd tip, listening with your heart, making space to tune in, to use your intuition, to open up, and to feel the love of the energy of your parent, and like really giving yourself that space to feel valued and seen by the divine. So you can use these tips for that as well. There's more questions. Thank you for sharing, everyone, so beautifully. Rochelle said, what an honor to grow with you, Sheri Frankel and QCA. Such a powerful, transformational. Love you.
I love you too, sweetheart. Watching you grow was major. You blasted. You're terrific.
Katie said, one of the biggest lessons I've learned over the past few months after Sedona is to stop taking my mom's burdens. The best I can do is hold space while she heals and even chooses not to. That's so beautiful. I can feel the surrender in that. You ladies have been the biggest inspiration for my relationship with my mom. Sedona would not have been the same without being able to witness your love and relationship.
Who said that?
Katie.
Oh, Katie. So sweet.
Okay, so Paige said, plus she got the COVID vaccine, and a vaccine that is literally what killed her sister. So she's very frustrated about that, which is honestly so understandable. Like there's a lot there.
It's saying how much she loved you. Well, she was upset because Paige had the vaccine.
No.
Oh.
No. Paige's sister passed away from getting a vaccine. So Paige was really upset that her mom got the COVID vaccine.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Because you love her.
Right. It's because you care about her too. Yeah. Awesome, Daniela. Katie said, my mom and my grandmother have a rough relationship too. Sheri, do you do any healing around your relationships with your mom to better your relationship with Ashley? And how and what did you do?
Well, in QCA, we did a tool. I was taught a tool. And it was a circle of power. And in that circle of power, when I stepped over it, I totally relinquished any bad feelings, ill feelings, resentments on my mom. And I realized I don't have to carry them. I don't have to carry those. You know, I had a backpack with stones, and every lesson we learned in QCA, one more stone got out. My load is so light now. It's wonderful. But yes.
Everyone wants you to coach their mom. That's also part of this is like, my mom is here to coach these women to help them heal these wounds that they might have with their moms as well. So we definitely like, let's figure that out.
It would be my pleasure to help them learn what I learned.
Yeah. Okay, hold on here. Holly said, grief gives you the chance to heal the trauma from not only the loss, but from the trauma that resonated while they were here. Thank you for that. So beautiful.
It is beautiful, honey.
We're adorable together. We're just adorable.
I take after her. See, she is my, no.
Awesome. Okay. So we had a couple more points that we were going to make. Yeah. So just a little bit on like radical acceptance and we're getting growled out again.
What do you want? I'm going to get a retreat.
Okay.
I'll be.
A little bit about radical acceptance and forgiveness. So I think one of the biggest things that has like changed my perspective. So for example, with my grandmother, my mom's mom was like very cold, very self-focused, gambler, addicted to gambling, not like the type of grandmom that bakes cookies or whatever, smoked cigarettes, just like, yeah, very like that. But I loved my bubby so much. Like she was like the best. And it was interesting because my mom had the dynamic that she had with her, but I was able to look at my grandmother unconditionally. I was always able to love her unconditionally. And obviously I didn't grow up with the way that my mom grew up with her, you know, with her mom, but she was my grandmother and I loved her no matter what. And so I accepted her. I accepted that she was always in the casino. I accepted that I was growing up basically in the casino. I accepted that I was going to smell like smoke when I left her car. I accepted that, you know, she worked at a pizza parlor and like all of her money was going to go to the casino. I accepted that when I slept at her house, when she would babysit me, that she would never cook me dinner. I accepted that, you know, she just was the way she was. And it wasn't hard for me to accept her because I didn't have any of those stories. I didn't have anything in the way like my mom had with her. And so I would always try and help my mom see like, but it doesn't matter. Like she's your mom, whatever. Like she is how she is. She is who she is. Can't you just accept it? And so I learned radical acceptance through my grandmother because I could just see her in for all that she was and all that she wasn't, and I was fine with it. Because at the end of the day, you know, she would give you the shirt off her back if she had it. She would give you money if she had it. She would give you whatever she could. She would give me comp dollars and hotel rooms, like when she had them, you know, anything that she could give me, she did.
That's how she showed love, by
That's how
giving
she showed love. Yeah.
things, money, stuff.
Mm-hmm. Free.
And
she would always get free gifts from the casino. And that was like, you know, my whole kitchen is
shopping in the pier. That was like, we were used to it.
So this radical acceptance, I think, is a concept that you can embody when it comes to your mom, no matter if your mom got the COVID vaccine, no matter if your mom is addicted to drugs, no matter if, like, certain scenarios. Of course, some things, you know, are harder to get over than others, of course, and some things are more acceptable to get over than others. But
that's where the unconditional comes in.
Right.
No matter what the problem is. With your daughter also. Daughters are addicted to things also. And parents, you know, you love your child. You love your parent. If you really do, then you will give them that unconditional love. Look, it can change, you know, if you get disgusted and you try, but consistency, it can wear you out, but you got to keep loving. You got to keep loving.
Paige, yeah.
What?
She said, your Bubby, the one who picked you up when the apple juice fell from the ceiling. You guys, I was in kindergarten, and now I have to tell the story. I was in kindergarten,
Paige.
And Judy said, you've always helped me, Sheri, even before quantum coaching. Aww.
I love you, Judy.
I'm so glad you're here, Judy.
I invited her.
Oh, cool.
Thank you.
So in kindergarten, I raised my hand, and we were in letter books, and you weren't allowed to go to the bathroom during letter books, but I had to go. And all of a sudden I went in my seat and I raised my hand and I said, teacher, apple juice just fell from the ceiling and it's on my seat.
Oh my God.
So I peed my pants, and my grandmother came to pick me up.
I was working.
We went back to the pizza parlor, and I smelled like pizza and cigarettes, and it was really fun.
Pizza, cigarettes, and PP. All P's. P and C.
Hilarious. Okay. Aww. Everyone's like, yeah, coach, my mom too. She would never do something like this. We were in therapy together back in 2009-ish. Honestly, can't remember, but it was about 10 to 15 years ago, and hated when the therapist would side with me. So she stopped going. It's so interesting.
You know, I find when the things I hated in my mom or thought I hated, I realized later they were the things I saw in myself. And that was crushing. That was crushing realization, you know? So you got to really think about what you don't like in your parent or your child. Is it something that you might see on yourself? You have to forgive it, right?
Beautifully said. Yeah, that's a really, really good point. Usually what we're perceiving, we're also projecting to some degree. And it's not fun to look at that and to realize that by any means. Yeah.
Any questions we can answer for you?
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for sharing.
Yeah. Awesome.
If you want to do a little homework on this and you want to dig a little bit deeper and you want to just kind of journal, like, forgiveness is so powerful. Even if you don't plan on having a relationship with your mom, or if your mom is no longer here, just to be able to write down the things that you forgive about your mother or your daughter, that you want to move through. I think that would be really powerful to write those down. And then things you want to forgive yourself for, like, I've had to forgive myself for not feeling good enough. I've had to forgive myself for not feeling, important, or, and for those times where I felt embarrassed or whatever would come up for me. It wasn't just about her. It was also about me. Yeah. Oh my God.
What?
Paige said, thanks for birthing the baddest bitch in the world and the best coach ever. I love you.
See? I did something good.
Daniela said, this is so true. The things that irritate me about her are what I take after her with.
It's okay. It's okay, sweetie.
Yeah. And then Dawn said, I knew my mom wasn't open to clearing conversation, so I worked through it all in my journals and got to acceptance without the conversation. That's beautiful. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, you did it yourself.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Another thing that's really powerful is that you can have soul conversations with people in your life, especially your parents, whether they're here or not, just to be able to like have a conversation to speak with their soul and just let their soul know whatever you want their soul to know can be really, really powerful and super effective too, of letting go of some of it. So yeah, thanks for saying that, Dawn. You can journal it, you can speak it, whatever it is, you can do it.
So ladies, my niche is I try to help women over 50 live their best life and show them that just because we're getting older and things change that we had no idea about, there's still a lot of life left to go on. There's women who their husbands have left or passed away and their whole life was their husband's. And now they're like, what am I going to do the rest of my life? You don't have to be sad. Of course you're going to be sad, but you don't have to give up the rest of your life. You're still here. I will help you find that joy again.
Yeah. And basically help you. She's here to help women, identify what these wounds are that they had from childhood that are carried into their later years, that are still holding them back. Mm-hmm. It's really powerful work. So I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
No, I'm so proud of you.
No, I'm so proud of you.
Okay. All right. We can be proud of each other.
Okay.
But no, like really, I never thought my mom would be a life coach. And like in the beginning of QCA, I was like, man, if I could turn my mom into a life coach, I could turn anyone into a life coach.
And now she calls me to coach her.
And yeah, I've had extreme moments of anxiety and panic, and I've been able to call her. And instead of her trying to fix me or like talk me out of my feelings, she was able to coach me through it and hold space for me. And literally in 10 minutes, I had like a massive transformation. So it was so powerful. Yeah, really, really powerful. So she's amazing. If you want your mom to be introduced to her, you can have her join her Facebook group where she posts a lot of inspirational content, and it's called Wiser Still Boujie. And I can drop the link for you guys in the chat.
Also on Instagram.
And she's on Instagram, Wiser Still Boujie.
Come see me.
Come
here.
Me.
Come question me. Drop me a question. Drop me slide it in my DMs. Anything you want to know, any question you have, I'll be so happy to help you.
Yeah, slide in my DMs. Kirsten, love you. That's a beautiful niche. Yeah, there can be at least 50 years left. Absolutely.
You got it. Let them be.
Yeah.
Go out with a bang is my motto.
Slide on in, baby. So yeah, drop your biggest takeaways from today. Anything that you feel inspired by or action that you want to take or any inner knowing that you have, would love to hear what that is. Even after we end the video, feel free to drop it in there so we can see and everyone can see.
Thank you so much for showing up.
Yeah, thank you. This was so fun.
It was fun.
This was so fun. And usually my mom is overthinking what she's going to say on live videos and like changes her voice and stuff, but you were just you.
I told you.
And that's the thing. When you are coaching, just for all my coaches, because I know you're all coaches, when you're coaching, you just have to be present. That's it. Like you're present, you're speaking from your heart, you're listening, and it's pure gold, lady.
Thank you, miss.
Yeah.
And thank you. Thank you so much.
Michelle Wood said, me too, Sheri, out with a bang.
Love you, Michelle.
You guys should do something together.
Yeah. Wanna?
Michelle and my mom should definitely do a workshop together. 100%.
If you're in for it, let me know.
Thanks, Dawn Gadden. Miss you, lady. It's been too long. Let's go to yoga. All right, everyone. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for being here. And if you have any questions or you want to hire my mom or anything like that, just let us know. We're here for you. Nancy said, love you, Mama Sheri.
Love you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.